Concept 5.4, Alterations of chromosome number or structure. In this concept, we will be going over abnormal chromosome numbers and how they arise, alteration of chromosome structure, and human disorders due to chromosomal alterations. An abnormal of chromosomes can arise in gametes if the homologous chromosomes fail to separate during anaphase 1, or if sister chromatids fail to separate in anaphase 2. Or, in other words, the mitotic spindle does its job very well, but it's not perfect. The failure to separate is known as non-disjunction. If non-disjunction happens in anaphase 1, then there will be 2 gametes with too many chromosomes and 2 with too few. If it happens in anaphase 2, half the gametes will have a normal chromosome number, and 1/4 will have too few and 1/4 will have too many. Sometimes the chromosomes themselves can be altered during crossing over. Sometimes a gene can be lost or deleted on one chromosome and duplicated on another if crossing over is unequal, or if a chromosome segment is moved from one chromosome to another chromosome. Sometimes the segment being exchanged is put in upside down, which results in an inversion. Sometimes non-homologous chromosomes undergo crossing over and genes are moved from one chromosome to a different one. All of these alterations can, potentially, be a benefit to the zygote. Usually, though, it causes disease. First, let's talk about aneuploidy of sex chromosomes. Say non-disjunction of the X chromosome happens. If you end up with 3 X chromosomes, you grow up to be a normal fertile woman. You just have 2 bar bodies instead of 1. What if you're XXY? One would think that the inactivation of the bulk of the extra X would lead to a normal fertile male, but the extra non-inactivated X genes leads to a person with male sex organs, small infertile testes, and some breast enlargement. This is referred to as Klinefelter syndrome. What if you're XYY? Superman, right? Actually, no. They did an initial study in prisons to see if the extra X made you more violent, and they found a lot of XYY men in prison for violent crimes. Then they expanded the study and found the same percentage of XYY men outside of prison. The only things linked to having an extra Y is being taller, and in some studies, having extra body hair. But what if you get just one X? That is called Turner syndrome and leads to infertile, underdeveloped females. Hormone treatments can reverse much of Turner syndrome, but what if you get just a Y? You don't get born. The embryo is non-viable. On to autosomal aneuploidy. The most common one is Down syndrome, which is having 3 chromosome 21. If you only have 1 chromosome 21, the embryo is non-viable. There are other triploidies, but they result in children with more severe developmental problems than seen in trisomy 21, and they usually don't reach adulthood. This figure shows translocation between chromosomes 9 and 22. Okay, here's the translocation. This is what it's supposed to look like. This happens sometimes during mitosis. Okay, that's mitosis, not meiosis, in cells that will eventually become white blood cells and causes chronic myelogenous leukemia, or CML. This is what happens when genes aren't supposed to talk to each other become neighbors. Well, that's overly simplified, but it works for now. Anyway, that's it for this concept. Remember to come ready with questions to lecture so that I can answer them.